Final score, the Vikings 10 and the Bears 7 in the battle of divisional foes in the NFC. Stay tuned for the U.S. Open men's tennis final right here on CBS.
All the action, and there's an awful lot of it around the league so far this afternoon. But first, the U.S. Open. A reminder, that took the early lead behind Reggie White. He was leading the cheers on the sidelines, and he was also leading the action on the field.
Good job here. This is a sack by Reggie, one of the 4 sacks in the first half that the Packers had.
Reggie's wife, Sarah, cheering him on. Here's Brett Favre with a 15-yard touchdown pass to Jackie Harris.
What's this? This guy can throw over the underarm, overarm, sidearm, and now a nice little block in the back gets Harris in the end zone.
And Randall Cunningham, however, triggered the Eagle comeback. Here comes Randall with the rollout.
Right. Reggie White to the inside, Cunningham to the outside. This guy's got one of the strongest arms in the National Football League. Victor Bailey makes the catch.
And then with time winding down in regulation, Roger Ruzek 31 yards out, and the Philadelphia Eagles winning in a tough place to win at Lambeau Field. They beat the Green Bay Packers by a score of 20-17. That's got to be a real shot in the arm for the Eagles and a real shot to the heart for the Green Bay Packers.
Because so much was said about leadership and team unity in Philadelphia. Brayman getting rid of everybody. They lost on how many, over 10 free agents. And then Green Bay, the upstarts, going out, spending all that money. And now today, 1-1, and the Eagles go home 2-0.
Yeah, and despite the great game by Reggie White, the Philadelphia Eagles win it by a field goal, 20-17. At RFK Stadium at 6-6, we remind you that coming up next week here on CBS, we have NFL action coming your way. 1 o'clock kickoffs will feature Jim McMahon early on.
Well, it really wasn't a lot of highlights at all. Actually, this game was rather boring. You want to know the truth. Good defense on both sides. Quarterbacks, neither one played particularly well, though.
Neil Anderson, a 20-yard gain to the Vikings 1-yard line. Anderson's first start of the season. The Bears have to be encouraged at how good he looked.
If they're going to run, if the Bears are going to be a good football team, they've got to have Neil Anderson healthy, and they've got to have him running.
And there's McMahon's game winner, 16 yards to a wide-open Chris Carter in the end zone. And you'd have to say McMahon's comeback looked pretty good today against the Bears.
Well, when you bring a guy in like McMahon, you bring him in for leadership. Obviously, you think he can play. But in a game where he's not particularly sharp, hasn't put a lot of points on the board, don't forget the guy ripped his offensive line this past week, so you wonder whether or not they're even going to play for him. But when things are bad, he never gives up. He fights, he gets in there, and then all of a sudden he comes in, hits Carter for the touchdown pass, and now everybody kisses, hugs, makes up, and goes out tonight and has a Coca-Cola.
Now, 1-1 now, the record for the Minnesota Vikings, and that's 7 consecutive home opening victories for the Minnesota Vikings. The Patriots and the Detroit Lions have now gone to overtime. Tied in with a picture of Terry Bradshaw in New England.
What about better?